Bitcoin and Litecoin, could there be a weekend rally coming? What's up, guys? Crypto Savvy here. We're going to talk about that. We're going to take a look at the chart, starting out with Litecoin, moving on to Bitcoin, and then stick around to the end of the video, especially if you haven't seen it. We're going to take a look at the Bitcoin daily chart versus the gold weekly chart and why I believe we can hit 46,000 by the end of the year. So definitely stick around, check it out. Also, I want to remind you guys, we're doing another free t-shirt giveaway on Sunday. All you got to do is leave a comment in the comment section down below the video to get entered to win a free t-shirt. Also, I want to remind you guys also to definitely check out the links in the description below the video. There's a 100% free Discord link with a great community in there, guys. I suggest you check it out. Doesn't cost you anything. Also, there's some links to help support the channel down there. There's a Brave browser link. There's a Prime XBT link in there, which is a newer exchange where you can do up to 100 times leverage. Not that I suggest you do that, especially if you don't have experience, but it could be something to dabble in for you. Also, there's a COINBASE and ABRA link down there. You can make a deposit and get some free Bitcoin. Anyways, I don't want to take up all your time. Let's get into the charts and see what's going on. Alright guys, as always, I want to start out by saying I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. This is my opinion and my view of the market only. Anybody that's doing any trading or investing in this market, I suggest you do your own due diligence and your own research, as this market can be extremely volatile and risky. Also, keep in mind, it's still a speculative market. Don't put in more than you're willing to lose, guys. Alright, with that being said, if you're new here or you haven't already, make sure you hit the subscribe button in the lower right hand side of the screen to get subscribed to the channel. Tick the notification bell to get you notified when I post new videos, as I do post every day, guys. So, yeah, smash those likes, leave your comments, let me know what you think, guys, and let's get on with the video. So, we're looking at Litecoin, and we were looking at this as the neckline of a cup and handle right here around the $94 range, and this would be the cup, this would be the handle, and the measured breakout of that is the 167 range, which we've been watching for a while now. I do believe it's possible we could get very close to that this weekend, if not hit it. No guarantees, guys, but I'll show you why here in a minute. We'll dig into the charts. Also want to look at this as a bigger cup and handle with the little handle over here. And if we move this up to the breakout, that one brings us up to the 192 range. Definitely possible. We're going to take a look at that. Also, I have a higher target up here that just going to look at for shits and giggles. So if we're looking at this as a rising, broadening wedge here with the two yellow lines, this bottom one being the long-term trend line from when we hit bottom. Yes, I said when we hit bottom. And then this top line here, if we do a measured move, if we were to get up to this $150 range this weekend and then break up beyond that, we're looking around the $250 range. So we will take a look at the bearish scenarios also, so you guys can keep an eye on what's going on. Let's go into the daily RSI now. We're looking at the daily RSI, where we had the top of this rising channel as resistance, the bottom as support, where we had a little bear trap here, and we're back in it now and getting support off the bottom. Keep an eye on this. If we do come back to test and break down, then obviously the bearish scenario starts to play out then. I don't think it's going to happen. I'm not too worried about it, but there's always a possibility. All right, and now we're looking at the 4 hour in Litecoin. We had this big falling channel here in the yellow. I'm not going to go over this. If you want to go over what happened here, you can go through the last videos, but we had popped up here, came into a falling channel, popped up out of the falling channel, got into another falling channel, popped out of the falling channel. Now we've popped out of this one, and we're getting resistance right here at the bottom of this blue channel here, which is a rising channel within. I do believe it's very possible we break out and come up to test the top of this falling channel again. And we'll look at that in the price action and see where it goes. But I do believe, guys, it's a high probability that we have a great weekend. I've called stuff like this before and it happened and people called me crazy. But I am giving you what I see in the charts. So first we'll take a look at the bearish scenario, guys. So as you've seen in the heading or in the thumbnail, I had posted that we could possibly see Litecoin hit $150 this weekend and Bitcoin hit 9,600. And I'm going to show you why in both. But like I said, first we'll look at the bearish scenario. If you guys were watching my video yesterday, we had drawn this triangle in here, and I had a measured move of 115.09. And as you can see, we hit that almost dead on the dot. So cheers anyone that did that trade. I told you to put your, if you were going to do it, to put your buys in at the break of this and put your stop loss just below it. And if you did that, your trade probably worked out for you. That's not to say we're done yet, guys. That was just a target from this breakout. So now I want to look at the bearish scenario. If we were to come down, and obviously I don't believe the bearish scenario is going to play out. If you look at my EMAs here, they're all crossing the 55 EMA now very nicely, which is very bullish. But still want to take a look at the possibility if we were to drop from here. And I'm going to move this. Whoops. Let me get that back over there. I am going to move this over to here now. If we were to break down, this would be our first area of support around the $93 range. And that being the bottom of this rising or ascending broadening wedge, whoops, that I have in the blue here. That's where I see us getting support. And if this breaks, guys, then we're looking down at this $62 range, which is old support over here, or old resistance becomes support. And if that was to break, very worst case scenario, and this moves up as we go along this bottom trend line, but this is the long-term bottom trend line from the bottom. And we would have to go pretty fast down to hit it, but 54 would be the absolute worst case scenario. And now let's look at my bullish scenario and why I'm seeing probably around the 150 or possibly higher this weekend. And the way I get that is looking at the top of this rising channel, this trend line right here. If we were to go straight up and get this pump this weekend, that I think is very possible that we get, we're going to be looking at around the $150 range, possibly up to our target of the 167. And then if that was to break, obviously, then we get into those higher targets that I discussed in the beginning of the video. So, but anyways, I see us testing this weekend. Very possible to test the top of this channel here at the 150 range. Or if we look at the ascending broadening wedge, then we could be looking at, around the $160 to $167 range, somewhere in that area. So between 150 and 160, very possible this weekend, guys, that we get a big pump. No guarantees. I still believe, no matter what, we're headed up probably most likely to this 167 area. But we definitely have to watch this trend line here to hold. And let's see. This would be the first line to keep an eye on. If we were to come down from here, we're 107 or 106, 107 would have to hold to keep us on this one. And if that was to break, then like I said, we're looking at the 93. If that was to break, so on and so forth. But that's that's where I'm at now with that. Let's look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin, same thing. I got some targets in here to watch, and we'll look at the target I put in there yesterday morning. I still believe we're headed up to that, at least. So looking at this yellow lines here, this bottom line being from when we hit bottom over here, and the top line being our resistance up here, which we broke over here, and that's a broadening ascending wedge. And if we put a target of the breakout, which is the width of the wedge here to where we broke out right here, that gets me that $9,600 range, guys, that I've been watching for quite some time now. If you've been watching the channel, And now I have some higher targets here, and that's looking at this as a rising channel. And if we stay within this channel, that's where I get that target of 9,600. Well, for the weekend, if we have a big weekend rally, which I do believe is extremely possible. But if we did a measured move off the width of this channel and we were to break out of this, you know, within the next week or so, my target for that would be 11,400. And I still have this flag pull here that we were looking at this as a flag. But since we broke it, let me zoom in. Since we broke it right here, I'm not looking at that as the flag anymore. But I still keep this line in here because they are significant. As you can see, we're getting this little bounce here. But if we put this up, measure that flag pull, and go up to the breakout of that 96. Now, like I said, we would be between somewhere between 11,000 and the 11,500 and the $12,000 range, guys, with the break of that channel. But I am definitely looking at this $9,600 range, and we will do the same as we did in Litecoin. After we look at the RSIs, we'll move in and look at the more immediate price and take a look at the bearish scenario also. So you guys were following along. We were watching this rising channel forever, which we had broke through the other day. And I'm going to move this line now, because this looks more like a falling channel. So obviously we're in this falling channel now. We broke down out of this rising channel. Now if we're to break out above this top of this channel, we may get some resistance here and try to pop back in. Let's look at the 4 hour to get a kind of a better idea what's going on in the more immediate. If my chart wants to open. Okay, 4 hour RSI now on Bitcoin. As you can see, we had this rising wedge drawn within this rising channel. And we broke down out of it here and broke into another falling channel. Now we're right at the tippy top testing this channel now. Is it possible we come back down all the way to here to test the bottom of this channel? It is possible, but I don't believe that's going to happen. If we do a correction here, it may be to the bottom of this channel, which we broke out of and popped back into now, right in this rising channel with the yellow lines. Let's get into the price action, look at the bearish scenario, and then look at the bullish scenario, which I believe is more likely to play out here. All right, so the bearish scenario, well, first of all, here is the triangle I drew in yesterday's video and in the Discord. So if you've seen it in the Discord before the video came out yesterday, that's one advantage of signing up to the free Discord. But anyways, we had this target of about the $8,400 range, and I still believe we're going up to hit that. We may come back down, test this line one more time, and then move up. But I see us definitely getting up to this. That's still my target there. Obviously, we broke out of this triangle here and starting to move up. I had this as if we broke down, this would have been the target. So I'm going to move this over now, because like I said, these bottoms or these support lines move up the longer we go. They're all ascending, so except for this 6,600. Now the 6,600 was a measurement if we broke out of that, looking at this as a flag pull and this is a bear flag. As you can see, that didn't happen. So I'm going to get this out of the way real quick. That out of here. Now I'm looking at, if this line here, this channel, I believe we're going to stay in this white channel here. Looks like we had a little bear trap here, but we came right back in. So like I said, this weekend, here's my immediate target from the breakout of this triangle. But I do believe it's possible we get up to this 9,600 this weekend. And do I think we're going to break out of the channel? Could happen. But I definitely, see if we're going to have this weekend rally, we're probably going to go up to around the $9,600 range, guys. And If we're to break down through the bottom of this channel, then we look at the bearish scenario. And my next line of support, if we were to break down from there, is this ascending broadening wedge that we broke out of over here I showed you in the beginning. I'd look for support around 7,200, 7,150 to 7,200 here. That would be, you know, the area I'd look for support in there. If that was the break, then we're looking at that 6,600 range, guys. And if you've been watching my videos, I do not think that you will ever see a Bitcoin below 6,600 again. You may not even see 6,600, but that's the worst case scenario in my opinion, and we'll take a look at that in the gold and daily chart versus the Bitcoin daily chart versus the gold weekly chart here in a minute. So yeah, that's where I'm at for now, and this is my target. If we're gonna have that weekend rally, I do see us getting up to this $9,600 range, and then if we were to break this, guys, then we're looking at those targets I showed you in the beginning between 11.4 and 1,200, and that'll probably be within a couple weeks, because if we were to get up here, we might, you know, get some retracement within this channel and, you know, build up some momentum to get up through it. So all right, let's take a look at the Bitcoin daily chart in the longer term, and this is my target for the end of the year, around 46,000. I know that's a bold statement, but honestly, I think that's pretty conservative. It may go much higher, but I'm calling for 46,000 by the end of the year. And again, guys, this is my opinion. Don't trade off my opinion. Please do your own due diligence and your own research. But I'm going to show you where I get this $46,000 target. Looking at the Bitcoin daily from back at our all-time high, and then I drew a trend line to where we broke down from the 6,000, and I did that from each peak in this bear market. And then obviously you see the long-term trend line on the bottom. Now I'm going to switch over to the gold weekly chart. A pattern is a pattern, guys, and this is another reason I believe that the diaper wave theory is absolute bullshit, because this sure looks like a hyperwave to me, and that would have brought gold down to, you know, the $50 range, which never happened. And we'll take a look in a second. But we bottomed out the same way as gold did here, with 2 touches on the bottom of this long-term trend line. Excuse me. And that yellow line, I'm going to switch back over now. And you see the resemblance in gold and Bitcoin, and where I drew that yellow line. That's where I get that 46,000 range. And I do want to remind you guys that right here in 2003, the gold ETF was approved, and you can see what happened after that. And obviously, we are getting ready for some big news. The chart's telling us, you know, we're in that area to get some big news. Will it be the Bitcoin ETF? Quite possible. Could it be something else? Yes. We just are looking for some real big news, some kind of adoption news or something I believe is going to happen in this area. So that's where I'm at with that. Now let's take a look at how gold bottomed out. And guys, I know there's people out there calling that we're going back down to correct to 4,000, but we don't have to. As you can see here, we never had any big, huge corrections right in here. And that's where we are in Bitcoin right now. And I do believe a pattern is a pattern, and human emotion is human emotion. That's what makes the patterns in the market. And the human emotions don't change. And people talk about manipulation and whatnot. I don't believe in manipulation as people talk about it. Manipulation is just a human emotion. It's greed and people, you know, doing that, and that's all already in the charts, guys. Just like I believe, show me the charts, I'll tell you the news. By the time you hear the news, it already worked its way in the charts, because other people know before they release it and, you know, tell the public or the traders and or whatnot. It goes on the news after the big people know, so it's already in the charts. That's why I don't pay much attention to the news, because it's usually late. But anyways, how we bottomed out here, taking a look at the gold bottom here, and mind you, this chart is on the weekly, guys, but again, a pattern is a pattern. Bitcoin is a lot smaller market, moves a lot easier. Plus, we have the internet and, you know, just a lot more things to make things speed up nowadays. So definitely believe that this is what Bitcoin's going to look like by the end of the year. So here's the 2 touches on the bottom before obviously the huge rally. And we'll go back to Bitcoin, zoom in a little bit, and then we'll take a look at each one of those trend lines I drew from the peaks too. Same thing, touch bottom twice, and our rally has begun. Now, if you look at these trend lines that I drew from each peak to where we broke down, each one acted as resistance and then became support. That's why I believe this here will hold no matter what, guys. If this breaks, then it's possible my 46,000 theory is not going to come true, but I do not see this trend line breaking. It started from this peak over here from the beginning of this obviously giant rally, and we had 4 touches here of support during the bear market, and draw that across, and that's where we come up to. And that's, like I said, I do believe this will hold if we even get down that far. This 55 EMA in the daily could hold at 69 if we were to, you know, correct right now. If we were to continue down now, I do not see anything below $6,600, guys. But I want to take a look at, say we get to that 11.5. Well, we'll start out, say we get to the 9,600. And if we were to have a correction back down to touch this trend line, that would be about a 30% correction, which is possible after that 96. You know, we could touch the top of that channel and then come down and test this for support. Now, if we were to go up higher to that 11.5, that would be a 40% correction, 42% correction. If we were going up higher to the 12,000, that would be a 44% correction. So guys, if we hit the 96, then we could still be looking at going down to the 66 for a correction possible. The higher we go, the less likely I see that we're ever going to see this 66 again. But that's my thoughts on that. And now we're going to take a look at the RSI and show you what we've been watching on this channel since January. Whoops, I don't know why I went in the 4-hour. Going to the weekly. And this is just proof to me that the bull market has begun and the bear market has ended. We look in 2013. Here's the bull market from 2013. I drew a trend line down from the bear market. We had 2 touches of resistance before we broke through and the bull market began. This is 2017 bull market, followed by the bear market. 2 touches of resistance on this trend line, and we've broken through, beginning the bull market. Let's take a look at the monthly. In the RSI, let's see, we had these 2 arcs drawn here, and this is a 2013 bull market followed by the bear market. Each one of these arrows represents a new low in the RSI coming down in the bear market. This is the 2017 bull market. Each arrow represents a new low in the RSI in the bear market. And the difference I see here, guys, on these arcs is this one is going to be much quicker. That is my opinion on that. You guys check it out for yourselves. I do appreciate you stopping by. And if you enjoyed it, please hit the subscribe button, the Crypto Savvy logo above my head to get you subscribed. Tick the notification bell to get you notified when I post new videos. Smash those likes, guys. Leave your comments. Let me know what you think, and I will see you tomorrow. I'm out.